I've been fixing up the shed that's out behind my shop with the idea that I'll use that for metalworking projects. But I also want to use the back wall that I just finished in there to store lumber, especially the lumber that was already stored in there before I got started. So I want to build a simple rack that goes on that wall. And I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this, and I certainly didn't want to spend any more money. I figure I've got enough scrap lumber and stuff to build this without having to buy anything. So I'm going to start with this piece of 1/2-inch plywood that's around 30 inches long, and I'm going to cut it into strips that are 3 inches wide. And those will be the cleats that I mount the arms on. And for the arms, I've got these old deck boards that my neighbor gave me. They don't look fantastic, but the wood is plenty strong enough for this. First, I'm going to cut these to 14 inches long, and then I'm going to trim one edge off, that rounded part. And then I'm going to move the fence on my saw here and cut the other edge off, that other rounded part. And now I want to get 2 arms out of each piece, so I'm going to make a quick and dirty tapering jig here. Just cut it out on the bandsaw and it's ready to go. And since the shed is looking so good now with the walls done and painted white, I didn't want to put in something that looks totally crappy. So I'm going to sand these just a little bit before putting them together. And I'm not getting fancy on how these are going together either. I'm just using polyurethane construction adhesive on the end and driving in 2 3.5-inch screws. After I got them put together, I brought them outdoors and let them bake in the sun until the glue set up. And once again, they don't look great, so I figured I would paint them. I've got some old black paint that I mixed a little bit of white in with to give me this gray color. And I just sprayed that on several coats and let that dry. And it really didn't take long to dry because we've been having a lot of hot weather, which makes it great for drying paint and glue, but not so much for working in a small shed. Anyway, after the paint was dry, I brought them into the shed and I started mounting them on the back wall. And once again, there's not a whole lot to that either. I'm just using drywall screws, 2 in the bottom, 2 in the top, and 2 in the middle. I spaced these so that I would have a vertical space on the left-hand side for longer pieces to stand up. And then I loaded it up with the lumber that was in the shed to begin with. And now that I can actually see what I have, I'm more likely to use it on projects that I got coming up.